friends, I'm crooked. Take that as you will. Today we're gonna make baked oatmeal. Cheers to that. This recipe has been one of the most popular recipes on Humorous Homemaking for literally 6 to 8 years. And it is crazy easy, so I'm literally going to walk you through the steps. I'm gonna send you to humouroushomemaking.com to get the printed out recipe if you want it. But it's so easy, you guys. I have a child who doesn't like oatmeal in a bowl, but she loves baked oatmeal. It's Annie, she's 11. So I've been making it for a long time. You can change it up every single time you make it if you want to, because there's so many variations. I'm going to show you guys the base recipe, which is just if you wanted to make a plain baked oatmeal, but you can stir literally anything into this recipe. Chocolate chips, peanut butter, almond butter, fresh fruit, frozen fruit, dried fruit. I've even put coconut chips and flakes in there. You can put anything you want in it. It's just kind of like a blank slate, a blank playground. Nobody would go play at a blank playground because there wouldn't be. Never mind. So I'm going to walk you through the steps and show you the final product. Go to humouroushomemaking.com to get the printable recipe. It is crazy easy. Here we go. All right, step 1, we're using rolled oats. You can use quick oats. I think rolled oats do better in this recipe. So 1, 2, okay. You can easily double or even triple this recipe. I am making it in an 8, or you can use 9-inch square dish. If you're going to double it, you would bake it in a 9 by 13. So I've got 2 cups of oats in here because I'm just making a single batch. And then I'm going to add a cup of milk. I'm using almond milk. I've literally used every kind of milk you can think of in this recipe, and it works great. So I know a lot of dairy people really enjoy this recipe. So it just needs 1 cup of milk. Okay. Now, in the past, I have used this recipe and let the oats soak overnight. Lately, I haven't been doing that. I've literally been mixing my oats together and letting them sit on the counter until the liquid is all soaked into the oats. And I have found this makes the recipe turn out a little bit better. If you make it right now and you don't let your oats soak, whenever you bake it in the oven, what tends to happen is the oats rise to the top and the liquids sink to the bottom, and you get this line of eggy stuff in the bottom and then the oats on top, and we just prefer it this way. So you can see what I'm talking about. See how the liquid is just sitting in the bottom. So I'm going to let this sit here on my counter now that I've mixed it together. It's going to take well, it'll depend on what kind of milk you use, but it'll take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to soak all up. I just fix this as I'm getting ready to make dinner, and I will let it sit here and soak up. If you wanted, you could fix this up and put a cover on top and stick it in your refrigerator and bring it out in the morning and finish it. I have done that many times. Either way will work. It just kind of depends on your schedule. So we'll come back whenever this is all soaked up. All right, it's been about 30 minutes, so I want to show you what I mean. All of the liquid has been absorbed into the oats. So this is going to keep you from getting an eggy, milky bake on the bottom. So like I said, that will depend on the kind of milk that you use, but I came back in about 30 minutes. Now, I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients, and then we're going to pour it in our pan. So we're going to put in 2 eggs, which I did before this video so that I wouldn't have to wash my hands in the middle of it. Then we're going to put in about 2 tablespoons of oil. I've used all different kinds. I'm currently using grapeseed. Coconut oil works, just whatever oil it is that your family uses, and about 2 tablespoons. If you guys get, I've made this so many times, I don't measure most of the stuff any longer, so about 2 tablespoons. And then the sugar is gonna depend on you. I'm using organic unbleached white sugar, unbleached sugar, organic that I get from Aldi, and I'm going to put about 1/3 cup in there. You can use less, you can use 1/2 cup. It depends on how sweet your family wants it, but I'm going to put about 1/3 cup in here for the whole recipe. If I add something like mashed bananas or chocolate chips, I will sometimes add way less than 1/3 cup because I know I'm getting the extra sweet in there, but that's what I'm putting in on this batch. And then I'm going to do 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm gonna eyeball that. Looks good. And then just a little dash of salt. I just put some in my hand and then sprinkle it in. Also, I don't measure vanilla, so just pour some in. I'm almost empty. I need to refill it from my vanilla beans in the basement. So So then I'm just gonna pour some in. If some is good, more is better. You can find this recipe written out at humouroushomemaking.com. And then about half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't always add the cinnamon based on the different types of oatmeal that I may be making. Now just stir it all up. So I put in smashed banana, chopped apple, dried fruit. You can make it cinnamon raisin. You can make it peanut butter chocolate chip. You can make it chocolate chip. You can make it white chocolate chip. This is your base recipe. And then based on what you choose to add to it will determine if you put the cinnamon in it. But it's gonna be nice and thick like this when you're done, okay? All right, now I'm going to just pour it in my dish. So I've got, I should have told you at the beginning, but you should preheat your oven to 350. So this is an 8 or 9, one or the other, inch baking dish that I have put a little coconut oil in. And then I'm just gonna pour this in here and spread it out. I usually use a spatula so I can make sure to get every last bit out, but I didn't grab that for this video, so we're gonna go with it. All right, that's most of it. And just spread it out. You're gonna bake at 350 for about 25 minutes or until it's, you don't want it too dry, so you just want it to be not wet in the very middle, about right here. You want to make sure it's no longer wet there and it's a little firm to the touch. Okay, so all I've done is spread that out. I'm gonna bake it for 25 minutes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. So I just pulled this out of the oven. It is still super hot, but I want you to just see, you're just looking for it to press firmly. You don't want it to look dry as a fart, because nobody likes farty dry oatmeal, but you do want it to be done in the middle. So I always just check here just by making sure it doesn't, like, my finger doesn't totally go down in the middle. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it a little closer. But that's what it looks like when it's finished, just a big oatmeal cookie. We like to serve with a smidge of real maple syrup on top. Honey is also good on top. Some people will put chocolate syrup or just a little bit of whipped cream, and some people like me will just eat it as is. So when I need to reheat it in the morning, I just cut it into squares. I will usually leave it at room temperature overnight, and only 2 of my kids like theirs warm, the other 2 like theirs at room temperature. And you can just stick it in the toaster oven for a couple minutes at 350. You can put it in the microwave if you prefer, or you can just eat it at room temp. If I'm not going to eat it the next morning after I make it at night, I will store it in the refrigerator and then reheat in the oven about 350 for 5 to 7 minutes till it's nice and warm in the middle. But that's how easy it is. So go out and make you a big old baked oatmeal, which is really a cookie, but it's healthy because it has oats. We can eat it for breakfast. Win-win for everyone.